Alright, I'm back, and happy to report that I found out that my video is fine. The audio was working and whatnot, it just wasn't showing me on my stream software, so that's a relief, because didn't want to have to do that again. Let's try talking to the container. And we'll go get that body down. Persuade the door to open. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric? Because getting physical wasn't an option. Because what wasn't an option? Because what wasn't an option? The lieutenant looked startled, using my body over my wits. Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can do that after hours. I'm surprised I can't try to use my crowbar. Oh, okay. That's the dock. Alright, first things first, let's get this body down.
The unpromising race pupil returns.
Everett told you to help us get the body down from the tree. So it was. My unpromising race pupil entered the harbor and used my superior to give me orders. I salute your cunning, and will remove the body from the tree with my bare hands. You're so noble, Measurehead. But, while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. He turns to Kim. Both of you. Lieutenant, what if we don't want to do that? This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it down ourselves. I can live with the compromise. Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic haplogroup. Okay, then. Babe, see that they stay here the whole time. The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves. So you guys are like cops or something? Why are you with Measurehead? Look at him. He's craniometric perfection. Are you cops or what? Yeah, we're the law around here. Cool. I like men with guns and power. The woman twirls her hair. I'm Katja, by the way. You hear that? The lieutenant looks toward the yard. That sound. He's breaking something. Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. Wish I could see it. I also wish I could see it. Look at you, RCM Rent-A-Cops. A loud voice booms in from below, guarding that bridge like Everett's lapdogs. Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale. Spoken by a mercenary, pretending to be a worker. It's none of your business. A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinet. It's Kuno. Then, the man turns to look behind him, at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him. Uh-oh. The corpse has been removed from the tree. He brushes wooden flakes off his hands. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with race victory today. Thank you for your cooperation, Measurehead. Farewell, Ham Sandwich. You are a Union man from now on. Alright, let's go check out this. Wait, we also gotta talk to this guy, right?
So, how'd you like our harbor?
Labor utopia, not approvingly. It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains, he notes solemnly, then turns to you, a wide smile adorning his face. Right, you talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk. Everett said you have a key to a door? A key, huh? He runs his fingers through his mustache. What door is this key supposed to open? He said it belonged to a weasel. Oh, say no more. I got you. He taps the side of his nose with a little wink. I got that key right here, and let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say. Not really doing this for political reasons. Oh, so the none of the above type, are you? I get it, I get it. I like to keep my distance too, he nods. But it doesn't matter. It's a good thing you're doing. Thanks. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling and racks. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. It means we keep out of each other's business. Okay, but where did you get the key from? The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter. His gaze wanders off into the distance. None of this mess we're in, this jiving and juggling. What's it for? He doesn't wait for your answer. To feed our children, I guess. Anything else I should know about this task, this weasel person, when he'll be home? He shakes his head. I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for. The man takes a big sip from his flask. Who he is and what they're fighting for. This is interesting. Why are you striking? We're negotiating our share. Your share? Hi. He seems pleased with himself. Wait, so not wages or pensions or this stuff? They already covered. Should you be grateful then? It's a lot more than most people here have. Never grateful. Were we ever grateful, we'd have nothing. You fight for every piece. How large a share would you like? All of it. However, right now, we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board so they could take part in the decision-making process. Are you a communist? No. He pauses to think for a moment. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying, I want it all to myself, is a much older and simpler notion. No science to it at all. Even a weak child can think it. The only things holding someone back are, I can't and I shouldn't. Right on, brother. Just the way the world works, boy Adaro. The boss man, Everett. What can you tell me about him? I think it's best you make up your own mind, now that you've met him. In my eyes, he's a capable organizer and a decent businessman. What does bossing the union entail anyway? I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties, watches out for his own. By that you mean corruption? By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see, and in this world, the old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it, appreciate it even. He is personally not too lavish. That does seem lavish to me. He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion. Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway, and moralism is the most corrupt of them all. You seem to have spent a lot of time thinking about the political situation. Sure, I've had the necessary free time. He spreads his arms wide, using the reach to show how much time he has. Fortunately, there's always time. The look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding for him. Having command of his time is the most important thing. It all comes together now. The way he speaks about scabs, his general attitude. He's a follower of a 500-year-old Franco-Nigerian Boyadero code, itself an appropriation of Vespertine cool. That of a noble peasant or a traveling herdsman, true to yourself, independent in your actions, loyal to your friends. Maybe I'm a Boyadero? No. But, no. The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far and wide, yet it feels as if he could effortlessly go even wider if need be, an endless torrent of time. Any idea who killed the hangman? The mercenary, eh? He shrugs. Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing? He shakes his head solemnly. The merc was hanged with a very specific type of cargo belt, one often used in heavy transport areas, for example, harbors. What a thought, he scoffs, looking shocked. Why would noble workers resort to such a thing, unless they were pushed, of course? Pushed how? Your dead guy was an enemy combatant. Hold up, what does that mean? He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts. Did you kill him? I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills. Understood. The lieutenant takes a note. This has been of limited use. Still, thank you. No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's not my search. He takes a sip from his flask. Good talking to you. Gotta run. Hey, psst. Look around. Psst. Hey, you. Who, me? Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. Again? Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out. But neither is love. Should we just stop building love too? Love has worked out really well for me. I'm a love winner. Good. We need tender men like you building gargantuan communism. Word on the street is it's going to be 10,000 times larger than any communism previously attempted by human beings. Is that right? How come there's word on the street? You keep saying things like down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs, that kind of stuff. I haven't said anything like that. Okay, not in so many words, but don't deny it. You're about to rip off that mask of social democracy and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that will devour and masticate mankind. Damn. Everyone can see that, so tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder, or do we get right down to it? Wait, first, what's this communism even about? Failure. It's about failure. Failure. Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped, and pissed on until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive, 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class, towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers, million-headed armies of nations, and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm, and the spin, where the whole world failed, matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist. Now get to work, comrade. I don't really want to single-handedly rebuild communism. That sounds like a lot of work, and I got an investigation, so I don't have it in me. I'm beat down and broken. Very well, I guess no one built communism then. Tell the working man it's over, unless anyone has objections. No objections. It's mathematically impossible to achieve a classless society. Everyone knows this. Anyone? Anyone else? There's no one? There's one. What should I do? You should build communism precisely because it's impossible. No, shut up. I want to lie down and let the water carry me downstream. Discard thought. Alright. Let's go check the body on the tree. Damn, this music is refreshing after being at the docks for such a long time. That's it. The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side. Well, it's down. Celebrate in a more reserved manner. Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Lieutenant nods approvingly. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. A field autopsy? Yes, he covers his nose and lists. 1, investigation of the scene. 2, initial examination of the victim. 3, field autopsy. 4, transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3. Uh-oh. The fuck are they on about? Cop's gonna cut his shit up? Don't we have someone else for this? A doctor? No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from autopsy to cleanup to social work, everything. Wait, honorary rank of detective. An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able, usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is Lieutenant Detective. Yes, I feel like a detective. You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now, Lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. First, what exactly is a field autopsy? Come on, officer. He pulls on a pair of latex gloves. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them. Do you have another pair of gloves? Unfortunately, no. I have gardening gloves. Maybe they're enough? They're better than nothing. Lieutenant looks at the gloves. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things while you will take notes. We just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form in your ledger. That's right, he nods. You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol. Open your ledger at the field autopsy form. The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. This bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with 1, assistant. Let's jump ahead to the 3-part summary. Let's pause this. Now let's begin. Assistant, right, Harry DuBois. The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says 2, coroner's case, number KK5708030815. KK Kim Kitsuragi, 57, precinct 57, followed by his date and time of arrival on the scene. He's indexed the case after himself, not you. Shouldn't we file the coroner's case under me, technically, since I arrived at the scene before you? And what would that make the alphanumeric? I have no idea. I do. KK 5705030815. Fair. Wait. 0503. That's month, right? I got here 3 months before. Write it down. No, that doesn't make sense. Oh, probably day first. So I've been here for 3 days. Yeah, that makes sense. Next. 3, name. We've heard a nom de guerre, Lely. It's better than nothing. Write it down. What's next? Date of birth? 4, date of birth. NA. Age? The man corrects his glasses. Roughly 50. The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook. Race? Mondial. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other. Sex? Fucky fucky, the little monster exclaims energetically. Male. Pig's gonna have sex. Right, male. Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face. We're still going with March 4th, 51. What else? He looks over your shoulder. 9, body identified by, is non-applicable. 10, case number is the same as the coroner's case. This number listens motionless, the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains. Evidence of treatment. None, at least not after the initial examination. A strange word, treatment. What exactly is treatment anyway? Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem. Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure. I agree. Lividity pointed to a lynching. Then again, the right lividity is easy to reproduce, or just produce, if you know what you're doing. He places his hand on the dead man's chest, as if in preparation. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small woodshed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hands to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. Excuse me. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette ball-like against the window. Outside, Grand Curran. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Torson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead, more than anything else. And so all across Jamrock, Coal City, Grih, Grih, 42 deceased persons found today, 42 stations of breath. We should start the post-mortem. The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why. External examination summary. Clothes, he begins. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Barbrodine, I think. Let's see. He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label. See, it's happening. Barbadine, yes, inexpensive, size medium, color white. The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid. Write it down. The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They're fused to a skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing. The boot has a serial number. He twists the dead man's foot. It's number. The line between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The design is purposely concealed by the design. Tattoos. He stands up, feet planted on either side of the body. The upper torso is covered in a single continuous tattoo resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. Sorry, don't know why I'm yawning. I'm gonna have some more tea. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings to be added to the case files as document A1. Photo is taken on the scene using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow, length 3 meters. There's a buckle on the other end. He produces a measuring tape, well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.80 meters, generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good, ambient temperature below freezing. Body hair is light brown, distribution is consistent with age. He kneels in to get a better look. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short. Why would I touch? Alright, fuck it. His hair feels wet, soaked with rain, cold to touch, not that different from a living person after a swim. I'm not going to stroke his hair. Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity. Fucking low velocity chink chonk. The kid explodes. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity. Lieutenant pays no heed. In addition, there are bite marks on his face, or on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. I'm just gonna write down. Ligature mark. The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut. The steel wiring, he concedes, breathless. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got... Oh. Stretch. Damn.
It's been a long day, even though I just woke up not 2 hours ago. Though I was up earlier before that. Oh yeah, I'm prepared. Pet the chain cutters. Good thing we got these chain cutters. Pull out the rubber gripped cutters. Always good to think ahead. Now, he points to the rope squeezing the dead man's neck. We need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below, carefully, with as much precision as you can. See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off. No, he ain't. C looks blasé. Your pig's a boring fuck. Look for a good spot to cut. The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the yeast. I'm not your pig, Kuno. You are, he says with calm certainty. You're Kuno's pig. Concentrate on the belt, not on who is whose pig. There's no pig. There are only the chain cutters and the belt. Well, I'm gonna fucking fail this. You jam the cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already, they're buried deep in the man's flesh. Then you rotate them to get a better hold. Then rotate some more. Really, really bad smell is coming from there now, and some kind of cracking sound. Alright, enough. Cut some. Yeah, fuck him. Fuck that Fagari. Corpse fucking time. Told you my pig was hardcore. He steps in and takes the chain cutters from you. I should have a go before. I think I have a strategy. Let him work. He sinks the cutters into the knot, preparing to perform the cuts, with his elbow to his knee for precision. Level up. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut, and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature marks around it. Here, he hands you the chain cutters back and then kneels closer to the body, running his finger along the dark red groove until he comes to a gap. The rope rises to a point, he says, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck, on the nape. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact. He presses down on it. Normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact. Genitalia. He pulls down the man's underpants. Now it's gonna happen, see? I fucking knew it. This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible. Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury. Inspect. The dead man's penis is average size, congested from the downward collection of blood. Testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. Genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch. Write it down and move on. Back is symmetrical and intact. He struggles to turn the corpse on his side. Upper and lower extremities are intact but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin. Last item, hands. He takes the man's right hand into his, inspects it, then moves on to the other hand. Let the lieutenant work alone. Hands are clean. He inspects the wrist. No sign of a recent struggle. Were we expecting any? I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, the stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Working so close to the fumes coming from the corpse must be hard. You realize suddenly that the lieutenant has been barely keeping it together these past 2 items. Write it down. Ooh. He turns to the side to breathe. It's not enough. He buries his face in the sleeve of his jacket. You hear a muffled voice. That's all for the external. Well done. What's next? Internal examination. Summary. CNS, central nervous system. He says, then concludes abruptly, I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system? Of course. There is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story. If I may add the moral of this story, what would that be? He looks at you inquisitively. The dead man looks too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of the story. The brain is very vulnerable to compromises in its blood supply. Lieutenant grins. I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. All right, N.A. Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. He gets close to the mouth hole, eyes squinting from the stench. Not injury related, eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone, let's see. With his hands almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it gently. Rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and vicious. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night. Yeah, jack that fucker off. The hyoid bone is fractured, he says after a while. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact, unremarkable. Back hunched, as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. Respiratory system, he stops to exert more force. Both hands are used. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen, hemorrhaging present in the mucus of the lips and mouth. From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands. Look inside the dead man's mouth. No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight into that mouth of his. Write it down. He wipes his brow. Hepatobulary. Why don't we have anything? He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. Are you a hepatobiliary? Hepatobiliary? I don't know. Sorry. Expert? I don't think so. Neither am I. And that's it. Actually, I'm gonna look that up. That way we can all learn something. Although, you already may know it. I don't. I will learn something for sure. Oh. Having to do with the liver plus the gallbladder, bile ducts, or bile. For example, MRI can be applied to the hepatobiliary. Nuclear medicine imaging. Okay, so liver, gallbladder, that kind of stuff. Cool. I guess I've never had any issues with those, so I haven't needed to see a specialist or something. Right, NA. Same for toxicology and serology. Both? Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there. The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do. Like a toxicology screening? He looks at the monster. At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything. But even if he was brimming with cocaine, Or even if he was brimming with cocaine, but still, you should add a request. Write NA and add toxicology requested. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood is gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with a hanging. Gastrointestinal. He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around to the ground, the pool of feces there. This will do. Then he touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen briefly and says, digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. Write it down, omit the voila. What's next on the list? Description of injuries, summary. Let's see. He tilts his head. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too. What about the injuries we have afflicted? Oh, he looks incredulous. So we inflicted them? Okay, I inflicted them. Okay, so there's an incision on the thorax from a chain cutter. There's a pause. I wouldn't mention it. Better not to muddy the waters. I agree. The waters are muddy enough. See, these pigs are fucking corrupt. The boy nods approvingly. Why don't you fuck them if you love them so much? Now, injuries. Bite marks. I'm gonna take a drink of water. He nods. Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer? Beneath the description, there are 2 boxes waiting to be ticked. Non-fatal postmortem. Agreed. Next injury? Contusions. So, scalp bleeds from a postmortem head injury. A stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. Perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it postmortem. At maximum velocity, fucko. Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity. Lieutenant's admission has caused great gratitude in Kuno. He is silent with it. Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath the description of injury, 2 boxes. B. Non-fatal. Postmortem. Right. Next. Ligature mark. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck. Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side, awaiting your judgment. The ring around his neck is visible. Opinion, fatal injury. That's it. That's it. He cracks an uneasy smile. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned, but it's a start. He produces a small black plastic roll from his jacket, a body bag. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. First, how did it go? Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicological screening that was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple weeks. If we're lucky, I would not hold my breath. We were through with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy. What now? I need a copy of that autopsy form, then I will drive him to Faubourg. Rip out a copy of the autopsy pages. For processing, he looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of the red paper in his hands, then at the corpse again. He's thinking, did I miss something? You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse. Search the body one more time thoroughly. Let's bag him, take him away, let the lieutenant take the body away without further examination. I think we got about as much as we can. Okay, he unrolls the plastic. I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my Kanema. I can take care of the rest. What should I do in the meanwhile? Continue working here, the locals, the case, or tend to your own business. I will meet you downstairs at the Whirling in Rags tomorrow morning, 7:30 sharp. This means Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You're free to do side tasks and even the main case, though it might be more difficult. If you have nothing to do, read books or sit on the bench in the plaza. Bag the corpse and drag it to the motor carriage. Cool. What do I want to do? Guess this guy wants to talk to me. My buddy.
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble?
Didn't we already talk about this? The racist told us where her cabin is. We only searched it. Still better than me, I guess. I told you there's plenty of others who'd tell on her. He leans in. But is she in trouble? There's gonna be an investigation. It's that bad? He lets out a whistle, looking about 10 years older suddenly. Man, what should I do? What should I do to help her? No need for you to do anything. Don't worry. The police are looking into it. Yeah, maybe I should just keep my head down and work on my rhymes while I can. What's the plan with those rhymes anyway? Oh, you know. The thought lightens him up. Tommy Lee Holm's gonna be a musician. Sprayer's gang. But with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft. Why Tommy Lahome? Tommy Lahome was taken. He shrugs in a what can you do manner. My real name is Jerry Lafitte. Tommy's way better. It's more him. Good luck with that, Tommy. Gotta run. Yeah, you too. Be safe, detective. I got that check. Guess I can go deliver that comically huge check to this guy. This filler. It's a bowl. There's spit in it, reeking of tobacco. Gross. Spit cups are nasty. Photos of men in overalls, toting guns and Union placards. You see hawthorn bushes outside. Cafeteria window. Behind the dock workers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. -12, it's not time yet. Squint. There's a little side panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside. Alright, well, when it is time, I can investigate that soup. Talk to this guy.
Can I help you?
About my bill for tonight. I have this giant novelty check. You must be kidding, right? He stares at the large novelty check, baffled. Yeah, good one, officer. Real funny. But this establishment only takes cash. Now, do you have that cash, Mr. Novelty Check Man? Yeah, 20 real for the night. Good. You've got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow. By the way, I'm gonna sing karaoke here. Absolutely out of the question. You wait and see, cafeteria manager. Absolutely in the question. First we need to we find a sad banger, then we sing this place to shit. Take this. Oh, this is Titus and the boys. I might want to wait till Kim is back, though. Theo said you're friends with Manana. Is that true? The mention of Manana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. They're friends. What's in that borscht you're making there? The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, then seems to wait for you to speak. Sorry, I don't understand you. Just one word. Sounds quizzical. Then he awaits Tor answer with his brow arched. Your? Yes. The man looks at you, then at the suit. His face lightens up. He picks up a bottle from the shelf. Borscht? Need more vodka? Vodka borscht. I love it. Brayton. Turn it the fuck up and then ask for some yourself. Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg. Oh, no vodka. Turn your fingers counterclockwise. Yeah, turn it up. He smiles, nodding vigorously, then pours half a bottle of vodka into the pot. With a whistle, he stirs the brew. Gorosy, could I have some of that brew? He smiles and nods enthusiastically, and chattering away in his language, ladles some brew into a small thermal cup, then hands it to you. I don't think I need anything else. Stay masculine. Still nothing with this door. Okay. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and save and stop there for now. Thank you for watching. Next time we will continue with some side quest shenanigans.